Hello, this is Sharon Webb, Travel Tracker Implementation Specialist. Today I want to show you the trip inquiry. This is a menu option that will allow you to use multiple filters and selection options to view and display trip requests. Now, the trip inquiry is available on several tabs. It makes any user who has the authority to view all trip requests from their location. So trip approvers can see the trip inquiry from the trip approval tab. Your vehicle owners can see it from their vehicle owners tab. Bookkeepers can see it in school finance. Funding approvers can see it in funding management. Finance department can see it in the finance department tab, and those individuals with the bookkeepers and the finance department can all have an invoices tab. They can see it from there. And then transportation admin, of course, have all those tabs, as well as the trip request tab where they can view the trip inquiry. So let's look at the trip request tab and the trip inquiry. Wherever you find your trip inquiry, whichever tab you're under, it's going to be the same trip inquiry. Now, notice that there are multiple filters that you can use. Any filter that you see with a drop-down arrow, you can use to make your selection and to filter on. So if you wanted to use your requesting location filter and pick the locations that you have the authority to see, if you are a bookkeeper in a school, you would only see your school's information. But I am viewing it as a transportation admin. I have visibility of all locations. Let's say that I would like to view all of the field trips that are coming out of North Brunswick High School. So I'm going to use my filter, the requesting location, and find North Brunswick High School, and then I'm going to use the drop-down menu to find the trip type of field trips. Now I'm going to select to apply filters, clicking on this button, and that will show me only the field trip request from North Brunswick High School. And if I scroll down, and I can see a list of all of those trip requests. From this list, I can simply click anywhere on the trip information and open up the request form. Now, if you want to do another search, you can come up and click on the clear reset button, and that will clear my original filtering and allow me to choose another filter. So now let's choose a school and find out what field trips have been, or what trips have been approved. So now let's look at South Brunswick High School. And let's find out what trip requests have been approved there by clicking on the status drop down and show me all of the South Brunswick High School requests that have been approved. Now when I click apply filters, notice that it's going to give me how many trips meet that criteria that I have selected from using those multiple filters. Now again, you can layer and use multiple filters all at once. So let's drill down a little further and look at approved trip requests from South Brunswick High School that are using an activity bus. So again, I can click to apply my filters, and that's going to drill down and show me another group of requests. In this example, it's the same number. Maybe I would like to go in and choose some that are just field trips perhaps. So I could click on the field trip, the trip type again, and let me apply my filters, and that brings it to 35 trip requests. So you get an idea here of how I can use my filters and the apply filters button. Now notice on some of the filters there's a little information eye here. If you hover over this, it will always bring up a little more information. And so in this one, it's giving me a little bit more information about what to put in that field an email address of the approver. In the destination, it tells me to type in the destination name or part of the destination name. So this can be helpful if we want to know any trips that are going perhaps to the museum from this particular school. Now, let's see how many we've got. 7. And so these are South Brunswick High School trip requests, field trip requests that are approved using an activity bus, going to a museum. And again, if I scroll down, I can see which trip requests those are that are going to a museum. Now, there is even another use. Maybe we only want to know those trips that are going out in a particular date range. So let's clear our filters, and in order to set the date range, you'll come down here to this start and end date. Now, my start date is going to be today's date. If you want to see only trips going forward, you don't need to change this, but you may want to change your end date and say perhaps show me any trips that are going out the rest of this month. So I can come up and set my end date to be the end of this month, and then I can apply my filters and see how many trips I have left this month. If you needed to see trips from the past, you would use your All Trip Dates toggle button here, and then that would allow you for your start date to go back to the beginning of the dates that you have requests in your system. Now, there's a couple of other options I want to show you. One of those is the format that you see displayed. As you can see, it's the standard format right now, and that's kind of the one you're used to seeing. It looks like this. If you want a little more detailed format and information, you can click on the detailed trip listing, and then that will display your trip request in summary with more detail. Things like the trip comments would be here, information about special needs would be in there. If you had the feature turned on to show your arrive and depart from the venue, you would see that information in the detail. If you would like to print your list, there is a print button. If you would like to hide the filters before you print, you would click on the Hide Filters button and then click your print, and then that would hide those filters. So that's the trip inquiry. I hope that you will utilize this, play around with it, and see all of the different information that you can find, being able to use multiple filters and search selection options. Thank you.